What up, nerds? My name is Leslie Smith, and welcome to The Nerdy Narrative. This is a channel where I like to talk to you about all the stuff that I am reading, whether it be science fiction, fantasy, horror, manga, comics, literary classics, nonfiction, short stories. You literally never know where I'm going to stick my nose, or in today's case, my ears into next. So on today's episode of Fun, I'm going to share with you my April TBR. First few books I'm going to share with you are books that I'm planning to read in the Shardathon readathon. As you may have guessed from its name, it is a Cosmere related readathon, which is being hosted by the channel Sophia's Thoughts. Round 3 of the Shardathon has 4 teams that you can choose from. You have Team Siri, which is led by Sophia's Thoughts. Team Vivenna, which is led by Jessie from The Bookish Mom. Team Vasher, which is headed up by Joanna Sosa. And finally, Team Lightsong, which is headed up by Angela from Literature Science Alliance. The one thing I really appreciated about this readathon, the prompts were done in a way that could really be made to fit any TBR. So you don't have to go out of your way to find different books or shuffle anything around. It made it so easy. I will have all 4 of their channels linked below and the announcement videos, so you can go and watch all of those and pick your team if you'd like to participate. After I finally nailed down the books that I wanted on my April TBR, I looked at all of the prompts for the different teams, and the one that I chose that fit the best with my books, and that just happened to be Team Vasher. So let's run through these prompts really quickly and what book I chose for each of those. The first prompt is Awakening, an action-packed read, and I am going to read The Shadow of the Gods by John Gwynne. I did get approved for the e-arc on NetGalley. I couldn't squeeze it into March, so I moved it forward for April. I've heard it is nothing but non-stop action, so that will fit this prompt perfectly. The next prompt is Nightblood. Read a book with your favorite trope. Okay, you guys know me. I love all the tropes. We'll read the same ones over and over again, except for love triangles and instant love. I hate both of those. So any book on my TBR is going to fit that prompt. I mean, literally, I could just pick one and say it's it, because that's just how it is. Next prompt is Swordsmanship, a fast-paced or short book. For that one, I'm going to choose The City of Blood by Daniel Barnett. That is the 5th book in the Nightmare Land Chronicles. For those of you that are reading that series, this one has not been released yet. I did get the arc to read and review from Daniel, so I am very much looking forward to reading this one. The next prompt is Mysterious. Read a thriller or mystery. For this one, I'm going to choose The Least of My Scars by Stephen Graham Jones. So this one is definitely going to fall on the thriller end of the spectrum, and to add to the overall enjoyment of the experience, I will be buddy reading this with Evie from the channel. She was only Evie. Evie was also the kind soul who gifted this book to me, so I cannot wait to get to this one. Just a brief little paragraph about this book. If you haven't heard of William Colton Hughes, or if you have, then you're not telling anybody, not telling them anything, ever. He's not the serial killer on the news and the textbooks. He's the one out there still punching his card, and a few other people's too. He's a nightmare come to life, waiting in his apartment for you to come to his door. This book is going to be awesome. And then the final prompt, Lightsong. Read a prompt from Lightsong's list. When I pop over to see what the prompts were for Lightsong, the one that I chose is God of Bravery. Read a book with gods or a red or yellow cover. For good measure, I chose a book that was red and yellow, and that is Slaughterhouse 5 by Kurt Vonnegut. This is going to be my first book that I'm going to read by Kurt Vonnegut. I'm really excited. This is Una's favorite book. Una is from the channel The Codex Cantina, and I'm super excited for it because I'm going to be buddy reading it with the Codex Cantina. Now, Una has read it, Crypto and I have not, so it should be a really fun experience. Hey guys, jumping in here real quick to correct myself. I called this a buddy read with the Codex Cantina. It is actually a read along, and Christy Lewis is joining us for a really fun time. We are planning to do a live stream at the end of April. I believe it is April 29th. More information will be linked below in the description box, as well as the Discord where you can join us for this read along if you would like to read Slaughterhouse 5. All of that will be down in the description box down below. Literary Discourse is the Discord where this will be taking place. Would love to have you. Thanks, guys. And now that I'm sitting here thinking about it, there's a theme to this TBR that I'm just now catching up on. The Least of My Scars was sent to me by Evie, and we're going to buddy read it together. This one I'm buddy reading with the Codex Cantina, and Una sent me this one for Christmas. And then I'm sitting here looking at this next book on the list, which is The Mask of Mirrors by M.A. Carrick. This one's actually going to be a Discord-wide buddy read over on my Discord server. I'll have the link in the description box down below if you want to join us. We're going to be kicking it off April 1st. This beautiful book was kindly gifted to me by Sharon Dwyer, who's also going to be reading it with me. And what's really funny is the next book that is on my list to read for April is book 3 of the Dark Tower series by Stephen King, which is The Wastelands, which was also gifted to me by Sharon Dwyer. So The Mask of Mirrors she sent to me for my booktube birthday, my 1 year on YouTube. And then The Wasteland she sent to me for my actual birthday. So Sharon, thank you so much. You are so generous. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, this is just getting really hilarious. So next up on the list is The Last Argument of Kings by Joe Abercrombie. This, I didn't get as a gift, but I won it in a giveaway from Steve Talks About Books and Stuff. This is part of a read-along that Steve Talks About Books and Stuff and Yolene Reads are hosting of the First Law trilogy. This will be the epic conclusion to that trilogy. I'm so excited. I'm so glad that I saw his video for this giveaway. I'm glad that I won. I'm glad that I've taken part. I have absolutely enjoyed every moment of the First Law trilogy. I think I like grimdark, or I like the way Joe Abercrombie writes grimdark. All I know is I read the first book by him. I went and put all of the rest of his on my wish list. I have to read them all. I'm so looking forward to getting into this one. This is just an absolute wonderful, wonderful set of characters. They are just so compelling, so interesting, so funny. I love the just sheer enjoyment I have while reading these books. And in keeping with the whole gift book theme, the next book that I have slated to read for April is Morning Star, which is book 3 in the Red Rising series by Pierce Brown. And this beautiful book was gifted to me by my friend Charmaine, who I met over on the Shelf Space server. And this is part of a Discord-wide buddy read hosted by the Library of Alexandria. It kicked off in February with Red Rising. At the end of each month, Alan's been hosting a live show about each of the books. So I will have both of those live shows linked in the description box down below if you would like to see them, if you're a huge fan of the series. But man, this series is fantastic. I'm so glad that I jumped on board with this one. I also will be reading on my Kindle Winds of Strife by U.G. Gutman, which is also the self-published in pick for the month of April. And the final book for my April TBR is The Atlantis Gene by A.G. Riddle. I've never read A.G. Riddle, and I know that author doesn't get a lot of traction on BookTube, but I do know that Michael Knipp loves this author, and I think I might even be able to persuade him to do a buddy read for this one. I'll have to hit him up and see if I can talk him into it, but I'm very excited to try this author out. This is one that was recommended to me by my friend Doug, so I had added A.G. Riddle to my list to read from eventually. Then when I spun my trusty wheel of names to see which patron got to pick a book for me to read and review for the month of April on the channel, it fell on Doug's name, and that's the book he picked. So I have it coming on the way. It hasn't arrived yet. Should be here any day now. So I'm looking forward to reading a book that is, one, a book that my very good friend loves, two, a new author to me. I love discovering new authors. And then as far as picture books goes, I will be buddy reading the comic series Chew by Richard Lehman, and I will be buddy reading that, of course, with my bestest bud, Una from the Codex Cantina. This series was recommended to me by Stacy from my Discord. It's one that her husband read and loved, and she mentioned something about a demon chicken animal companion. So I definitely need to find out about this little chicken. So that'll take care of all the books that I plan to read for April. I do feel like I did better about the number of books that I put on my TBR. Just the last several months, I haven't gotten to them all. I think I missed like 4 from last month, and I just got to do better about that. Thank you so much for watching today. I hope you enjoyed hearing about the books that I plan on hopping into the month of April. Are any of these books that you have read or are planning to read? My Discord is linked down below. Come join me for a buddy read. I'd love to have you. Or just stop by the Discord and say hello and join in any of the conversations you find happening. I hope your morning has gotten off to a great start. I hope the rest of your day is absolutely wonderful. I'll see you soon.